See, the thing about the latest Picard episode is that you know what? It's really nice to see Command. I guess he's not Commander anymore, but Commander Riker again.
Number
It's nice.
two.
No, he's number one. It's not number two.
He's number two.
Data is technically number two.
He's number two now. He's an old man.
Yeah.
He makes pizza with burnt tomatoes.
Yeah, just making it. He's making it in like the ultra high tech, like scanning force fields.
We could have saved our son if they hadn't have banned androids. Fuck you, Dave.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, but it's nice. Like he honestly is like, I can't remember his name is. He's a director. He's been directing all of these right as well. But like, it's nice that he's actually playing right. He's like the only character that feels like the old characters, with the same mannerisms and the same. Authority.
Yeah, Deanna Troy, unscuffed Deanna of Troy, because we already had Deanna of Troy, right, as the mob boss.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
Deanna Troy's always been kind of like not quite right in all the films. So like I feel like
you know what this episode of Picard really reminds me of?
What?
Half-Life 2 mods.
Okay, I see. Tangerine.
Gotcha. The old bait and switch. Got you again, didn't we? Number two.
Not an emergency Picard's Tangerine.
Maybe one day. So, if you don't know, I talked about this in the podcast before. I don't think I done a Tangerine in it, but there is a map creation competition called Map Labs, and every month.
Discussed it slightly.
Not on Tangerine, I don't think.
Really?
Unless I did one with like Black Mesa or something.
No, we did the one with the really terrible platforming one.
Oh, Les Business News, the French Care Bear. Yeah. Well, I know how to say Care Bear in French forever now, so thanks to that game.
Yeah.
Les Business News Party Adventure.
I feel like we mentioned this entire concept in there
but not properly. The lying in this level is insane. But anyway, Map Labs. Every month there's a theme, and you have to build around that theme. And the theme for this week was the grid. Every single mapper was given a 5x5 grid, and they had to build inside that grid. So it creates like a very structure for how you're going to build it. And seeing how different modders got around this was really interesting. This was probably one of my favorite maps because of the lighting and how interesting it is. There's actually two paths you could take. I took this one path, and then I went and played it again. And I took the other path, and there's a completely different experience. This side has like antlions, and then there's a beach fight with a strider at the end, and then you go the other path, and then it's like you're fighting Combine instead. It's actually super interesting.
Okay.
I try and play Map Labs every month because I'm always playing Half-Life 2 one way or another.
Yeah.
I played Black Mesa Zen recently. I talked about it a little bit on the Tangerine, but I hadn't finished Zen. I've finished the game now, and Zen's really good. But one thing I will say is it's very different from Black Mesa, if that makes sense. Black Mesa is a faithful port of Half-Life 1.
Yeah.
Zen feels more cinematic, more actiony, more... It feels like Black Mesa's own thing. The Black Mesa team's own thing. Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Because I think they went for something different, and I think the original Zen was really bad anyway. So
yeah,
I think what they went for was really good in the end.
So did it still feel like it felt a part of the story though?
The story was there. It just didn't feel like
Half-Life 2.
It didn't feel like Black Mesa.
Okay.
It felt like if somebody had... It felt like a Half-Life 2 mod of someone who wanted to make an action game out of Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
It was like cutscene. Well, it wasn't like cutscene. But it felt... There was a lot of parts that felt like you were kind of watching a cutscene.
Yeah. So
when you went from action. It felt like... A lot of sections of Zen felt like a giant... What's the word? Chase scene? It's like action, running, action, running, action. And the great thing about Half-Life, Half-Life 2 specifically, is Half-Life 2 has a lot of action, but a lot of the time, It's about atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I felt like
but
Zen didn't have that great atmosphere.
Okay. Because surely if they
But the original Zen was dark and dingy and
what if they built up like a dark and dingy atmosphere, then had like a running scene?
There was like a little bit. There was
period,
like that.
Then it slows down again.
That's the first one. So the first one, that one's much easier. But when you play through it again, I was like, I think I immediately like, yeah, there's another path to take. I'm playing that one again.
Play it again?
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same initially, but then you take a different route?
It's right at the beginning. I fucked up.
Right.
I accidentally went down this.
Oh.
I wanted to grab the Magnum and use it in the other part of the section, but then I was like, shit, I can't do that.
Okay.
So, because another cool thing is that path you went gives you like a revolver and a shotgun. This one I think gives you like an SMG and an AR. So the different branching paths even have different weapons you use as well, which is really interesting. What was I saying?
So you
Black Mesa
or both.
I'm just playing like 50 different Half-Life 2 mods, so I'm just rambling away. Yeah.
Well, Half-Life is your favorite game franchise.
It's Half-Life 2 is my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
Period. I mean,
yeah.
There's a lot of great games that I love. I love Ratchet and Clank. I love a lot of the Valve games. Like I love TF2. I love Portal. I love Left 4 Dead. I love Warcraft. But if I had to, it has to be Half-Life 2 specifically.
Right.
That's my favorite game. It's just
I don't think I could ever choose just like one game. I can like
really.
Yeah, because like Ratchet and Clank's my favorite.
Well, when you think about your favorite game, right? You think this is a game I could play forever, and this is a game I am playing forever. So I have to. I've played like I've played like 3 Half-Life 2 mods this year, and it's what, March? You know, kind of crazy. I always appreciate. So these are called experiments, but half of these I'm like, you could turn this into like a full fucking game, and it would be amazing. Lots of really talented people who work on these.
Could they not be like as it is right now, just like a section of this expanded game that you could turn it into? Like you just like add more of these interesting maps and
people always have really interesting ideas on these things. Like I didn't know it was possible, because whenever you fight a Strider, you fight it with an RPG in Half-Life 2, but it's actually possible to fight a Strider just with the alt fire on the SMG. So that's what they had me do, and I gotta tell you, fighting a Strider with the alt fire and the SMG is very fucking hard because they're like little stick men. So yeah,
they always look like a pain in the ass. I guess they're meant to be.
I remember dying a lot here. That's why I'm skipping, because I'm like I died a lot here trying to kill this Strider. Like this boss fight was way harder than the first one, but maybe they figured people would do this one second. I'm not actually sure. Like, did they think people would go the bug route first? Because I felt like this one was a lot harder than the bug one. Because the bug one, you just kind of got to the beach and killed a couple of bugs.
I thought the first one you went down a little more obvious than the second route.
Did you see me like immediately? I hate those robots that don't damage you but flash you so much. So I'm like, I gotta kill those first.
They're so annoying. Who invented that?
Oh, what I was saying was, like, in Half-Life 2, the pacing is like you go from action and then you go to like dead silence atmosphere. Like some of the best moments in Half-Life 2 are just you alone on your buggy just driving across this wasteland that you barely know because you've been away for so long. Anyway,
you're just exploring the atmosphere and the feeling.
Oh, I eventually got the kill on 5 HP.
Oh,
here we go.
Was he dead? Oh, he's not dead. Not dead yet. Okay.
So hard to hit him with these things.
Yeah.
Ooh, got him.
Oh, nice. I know that's
save. Got him.
You just got no health. Okay. Good luck.
Is
this basically the end though?
This is one map.
Okay.
This is one map in the competition.
Yeah. Wow.
So there's a bunch of other ones.
Okay.
So that's a really good map to show off, right? But they're varying degrees of like. Some of them are like you saw like Lava Boy and Water Girl or whatever. Like there's some that are like, okay, this is crap. So what they do is when people submit the maps, is they have a process of voting for the best ones, and then you can go and you can look at the ones that got highly voted and just play those ones if you want.
Right. Okay.
This one's quite a good map. I think it's quite long. I don't know if I got footage of the other games. Oh yeah, there was a puzzle section that confused the fuck out of me in this. I was stuck in here forever. That's probably like most of the footage. I think I did 2 maps and it took me like 50 minutes. There was a bunch of puzzles on this map as well.
So this is the puzzle map.
Yeah, I wish I had footage of it because I played this in different sessions. But there was a session where someone had recreated Half-Life Alyx as a Half-Life 2 mod. And I streamed it to my friend Dave. And it even went to a point where you used the hacking tool and you did the mini game where you had to move the orbs to hack into things, like it shows off in the Half-Life Alyx trailer. Yeah. It was pretty fucking nuts. It was pretty cool. And they tried to put as much like they redesigned the Half-Life. They redesigned the medkit models to be like the Half-Life Alyx models, you know, where the new ones where you put the grub inside of the medkit and then use that to get the health, which looks really cool.
So they did that themselves then. They wouldn't like, it was like pull an asset.
They were just like, hey, here's a grid, make anything you want. And he's like, cool, I'm gonna remake Half-Life Alyx. I was like, oh, okay.
Fair enough.
That's pretty fucking cool, yeah.
I'm still really confused what's going on here.
I'm plugging things in. There's a lot of like Half-Life 2 stuff that's just elementary at this point. It's like, if you give me a plug, I'm going to find the socket. If you give me a valve, I'm going to put a valve somewhere and turn it. You know, there's a load of stuff like that.
I feel that plug wasn't that satisfying though. Like, it's a bit awkward.
Yeah, it can be, but it's like a third-party mod, and I don't know. But yeah. So the Half-Life Alyx thing I was talking about, that entire thing is really fucking cool. And it's just a map in this fucking map competition. Like, if you're interested in playing a Half-Life 2 mod, check out Map Labs. Specifically, check out the grid. The grid is really fucking cool. Like,
there are lots of them for
that. For this pack. Like, I don't think I even have footage of I think my favorite one was... you're driving down an airboat and this rebel goes, psst, come here, and he wants you to go collect weapons for him. And you know, like in the first one, it had 2 routes. I think it has like 3 or 4 different routes that makes you use all the weapons. So he wants you to get him some SMGs. So you go this route, and then you get some SMGs, and you come back to him, and then you go a different route and you get him like a crossbow, and it has tons of crossbow ammo, and you have to use the crossbow and stuff. That was really fucking cool. Like, it was using this grid, but building it in a way where you could go back through it multiple times. That's a really creative way of doing it, because you're given this much space, and somebody says, well, if I keep using that space in different ways, that's really interesting. Yeah. Check out Map Labs, the grid. Check out any of the Map Labs, because there's some really fucking interesting stuff.
Could you not make this, like, you make more vertical, because you could like squeeze into a grid?
So right? There was a map where you're climbing up a combine tower. That was how they used the grid. And then once you got to the top of the tower, you went down the tower again to use the space.
How big is a grid though? Like how
it's 5x5 a grid, but I don't know. I really don't know exactly,
because these seem quite massive.
It's hard to tell because you never know when a room is right next to another room, and that's really creative map design. Like I really love when people have to be creative with technology. Like, you look at how they made like old Nintendo 64 games and stuff like that. We're going to see more of that stuff now, because whenever you get new technology like VR, people have to use really creative technology to make it so you can run VR games in high, resolution and refresh rate using different tricks. And we'll have to see Half-Life Alyx. Hopefully, there'll be a Tangerine and Half-Life Alyx coming out. soonish. I mean, at the time of recording this, Half-Life Alyx comes out in like 2.5 weeks. So hopefully I can play it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the next Half-Life 2 mod, the final Half-Life 2 mod. This is a mod called Year Long Alarm. I put it on hard mode. I just want to show that off. Make sure I got that at the recording.
Yeah, that was viral.
I recorded about 15 minutes of this because I heard really good reviews on it. It's a mod you can just download off Steam. You don't have to install it customly through like source mods like MapLabs.
Right, okay.
I think more people might play MapLabs soon because they said on the IMDb page, the mod page, that they were trying to get it on Steam as an official mod so that they could just push out up new map packs directly through Steam, which I think, you know, people love when things are easy. When you're not given, when you spawn into a room with like no weapons or anything, number one course of action is find the crowbar. I swear to God, every Half-Life 2 mod,
is that the answer?
Where the answer usually is you're given no weapons, find the crowbar, knock down some wood. That's usually it.
This is no different.
This was find the gravity gun first, but I'm fairly sure you have to find a crowbar at some point. Like, I honestly went in blind to this. I didn't really know anything at all about it other than it was a Half-Life 2 mod. And the thing that makes this really interesting is the level design is fantastic and the puzzle design is really good as well. So there's the crowbar.
Crowbar.
Yeah. So now I can get into the elevator.
That's a clever way of doing that. I like that.
Because I told you, look, find the crowbar, put the plug socket in, all the classic Valve puzzles.
Yeah.
And then you get attacked, and then bam, you go down. But yeah, this got really good reviews. It is pretty short. I'd say it is worth playing because, of course, the level design is fantastic.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a lot of health.
I found there wasn't very much ammo, so throughout playing this, I was mostly using the gravity gun because a lot of the enemies they give you early are just zombies, and zombies are very easy to kill with the gravity gun. I was crowbarring this guy, then I was like, let me use some grav gun.
How do you kill a zombie with the gravity gun?
Pick up barrels and shoot them at them.
Oh, you just throw things at them. Okay.
There's stuff in Half-Life 2 that I would never have known how to do if it wasn't for me just fucking about. Like you feel like, oh, it's Half-Life 2. It's all stuff we've done before, right? Like I've played Half-Life 2, but there's stuff you can figure out how to do. Like I've just figured out over the years just by playing Half-Life 2 mods. Like you can kill headcrabs just by tossing barrels at them.
Well, they force you to be creative in these sort of environments, I guess.
Like one of my favorite things to do is the gravity gun is really effective against the manhack. Now, one of the things you can do with the gravity gun in the manhack is you can pick up the manhack with the gravity gun, and then you can impulse push it towards a wall and blow it up. Another thing you can do, which is one of my favorite things to do, is you can hold the manhack in front of you, and you can walk up to enemies and chop them up with their manhack. So the power's off. I've got to go, and I've got to find another plug socket or whatever to turn the power on.
So that middle one wouldn't turn on because it's not ready.
Nope. But it's pretty intuitive. Like some of the puzzles in these mods, it's like, oh, I don't really know where to go. Like some of the map labs, I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing? But like this mod, like the puzzle design is really intuitive.
Yeah, it's different to design a puzzle. It's like, oh, immediately obvious, like what you need to think about, but then not obvious that you can just instantly do it. Like it's a difficult thing to design a puzzle.
I got the power. So you can feed these barnacles anything really you can find in props. You can feed them explosive barrels. Yeah.
So if they eat a normal prop, they just hold on to it forever? Or
no, so you giving them a prop, they'll suck it up, and then they'll be like, that's not food, and they'll drop it, and then they'll go back to being active, but it's just a quick way to get around them without having to, kill them. Sort of thing. But like 90% of my gameplay here was just me walking around with a barrel and a gravity gun. Because that's like an easy way to kill a lot of zombies.
Mm.
Yeah. See if I got some like grenade gameplay.
So like the end, this is more and more like harder enemies as you go through this. Then.
Yeah, it gets a lot more interesting as you go on. It starts off kind of slow puzzle with zombies, and then evolves more into fighting Combine, and then you go outside in the second half of the mod, and then it's very open fields, lots of Combine fighting, and then there's even a dropship fight right at the end.
Oh, okay. This seems very tense to me because
oh yeah. I'm always on the verge of dying on this.
Yeah.
That's
and
another
you're very
thing.
Not protective, like cautious, I guess.
Well, it's like I'm playing on hard, so I'm always about to die.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But some people were complaining like there are some grenade puzzles, and it's like people were saying like, oh, it's just a couple of grenade puzzles, but I actually think the puzzles in this are really good. I was like, I'm gonna blow up this, and I'm gonna knock it down, and I'm gonna get the health, and I'm like, I'm so fucking smart, dude. Like nobody would have thought to do that. And then I was like, let's grab some more grenades, and then I was like, wait a minute, let me just walk over there. Okay, there's a fucking ladder. I could have just got up the ladder the entire time.
Okay.
But like the idea here is you see on the left, there's a plug over there that I need. So I'm going to throw a grenade into the vent, and then the vent is going to take the grenade over and then knock out the extension cord, and then I can use that to open the gate. So that's one of the ways you solve puzzles. But yep, that is year-long alarm. And yeah, there's a Half-Life 2 mods. I love Half-Life 2. I'm going to play some more. I'm going to make more Tangerines about Half-Life 2 mods.
Yeah, ending, coming soon.
Coming soon, TM. All right. We baited you with Tangerine Picard.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Okay. Picard.
All right, bye.
Bye.